Evening everyone that are joining us today with regards to our Worthing College Sports Academy virtual event. Just going to wait for a couple of minutes to make sure that everyone is in before we start. Obviously, if you have any questions, please provide them in the Q&A section or the chat section provided, and they'll be answered for you, hopefully during this presentation, if not after. But we do stress, we do try and get those answered. So really looking forward to chatting to you all. We'll just wait another minute or so before we begin. Evening everyone, just for people that are just coming in, this is the introduction to the Sports Academy at Worthing College. My name's Dave Hall, Deputy Head of Learning for PE, Sports Science and Sport. We're just waiting another minute or so for a couple of more to come in before we begin our presentation. It's great to have you in attendance today. And obviously if there's any questions, please put them in the Q&A box while we're talking, because they may get answered during the presentation with regards to our slides, or we will try and answer any additional questions during this presentation as well. Excellent. So welcome everyone. Hope you are safe and well in these times. As I've already said, my name is Dave Hall. My role at the college is Deputy Head of Learning. So I'm responsible for PE, Sports Science and Sport at the college, as well as Computer Science and IT. I also run the Men's Football Academy programme here at Worthing College as well. You are joined tonight as well by Tina Price, who is our Head of Academy of Sport. She's also the lead netball coach, and also Sarah Briggs, who does an outstanding job for us as our sports coordinator, and she's also one of the netball coaches. I'm going to not do my Chris Whitty impression tonight, so I'm not going to say next slide, please. I'm trying not to. So if you can move on, please, that'd be great. So with regards to this presentation tonight, we are not necessarily going through sport-specific stuff, but if there are sport-specific questions, then obviously we would answer them at this point. But obviously later on throughout the year, I'm sure we'll be putting things on, or I know we'll be putting things on that are more sport specific to support you. But tonight is more of an overview of the academy and how it runs and its structure and how it runs alongside your academic study. So the ethos of the Academy of Sport is developing the academic athlete. So this is something that we began back in 2007. So it's coming up to, well, it's 14 years old this September, with the view of allowing students to enhance their sporting performance, but at the same time furthering academic study. So the important thing that we provide at Worthing College is that our students can study pretty much, I say 99% of study combinations. So the first thing I will say, which is probably a question that that you may ask is, you know, do I have to study sports science or PE to be in the academy? The answer is definitely no. Again, the majority of our sports, if not all of our sports, are playing at national college level. So the highest level for college sport in the country with regards to those individual sports. So again, for me, we are, and us as staff, it's really important to maintain those high quality academic standards, as well as those high quality sporting performance levels as well. And obviously with that, getting our outstanding Ofsted grade in last March, was something that we were, you know, extremely proud of. And again, it's something that I'm extremely proud of with regards to the staff and how hard they work here. So if we can move on, that'd be great. During lockdown 1, obviously seems quite a long time ago now, what we tried to do and what we still maintain and we still try and do is try and keeping our student athletes active. And one of those things during a week in May is that we had a whole week of our virtual awards. So we usually do our award ceremony, usually quite a big glitzy event at the end of the year, the end of the season, sorry. But we had to do it virtually this year. So we did lots of videos, lots of highlight reels, and looking at some of those winners there. Could it be you next? Or could we have some, you know, there might be some winners that are sitting in the audience tonight. If you can move on now, that'd be brilliant. So I will in a minute get Tina to jump in if required, in terms of anything that I miss, because again, herself and Sarah are a massive part of what we do, and the successes that we have. Obviously, with COVID last season, there was quite a few competitions that were cut short, and then obviously at the moment we kind of started this year, and then we had to stop, obviously within in line of COVID guidelines. So, you know, what we have done, and I know it was a question last time out, is that obviously during any COVID guidelines, we have strictly gone alongside any of the national governing bodies. So obviously, let's take football, rugby, and netball, for example, and basketball. They had differing rules with regards to their national governing bodies. So whether it meant that training had to be adapted, or obviously we couldn't play games at certain points. Again, we were we adapted and we made sure that our performers were staying as active as possible, but within the rules, because obviously it's very important for their mental health as well as their, physical status as well. So obviously we're now going back to 2019. 2019 in terms of our success was a bit of a stellar year. But again, consistency has been key. So, 5 county cups across 5 different sports. So we had men's football, we had women's, we had men's football, we had 2 there, we had netball, rugby as well, women's rugby. And again, on top of that, four national cups, which again, I think for any college, especially a college our size, that's unrivaled. And a special shout out to, and I know she'll appreciate this, to Tina and her netballers, with the fact of actually, retaining two of those national cups this year, or last year, sorry. And also before lockdown, they were retained as well. And as you can see here, we've won regional leagues, Sussex leagues, Hampshire leagues, and we also become a runner-up in the National Cup, won the National Cup. So across all of our sports, there is an extremely high level. So again, with that in mind, these guys, when they come into the program, they definitely develop, and obviously the fruits of their labour are not just seen in the classroom, but also seen on the field or the court. Tina, is there anything you'd like to add before we move on? That's fine. We'll move on. So we can move on. That'd be great. Again, with team honours, we also had individual honours. Year on year, we have performers that our performers get the opportunity to represent a county, represent a country. And again, there was just some clear examples from 2019 of we had 5 netballers in the England setup, the England colleges setup. We had 2 female footballers in the actual official England setup. We supported those girls in particular because they were out in Bulgaria, and one of them had to sit one of their sports psychology exams. So obviously we worked hard with the exam board to make sure that they had the opportunity to succeed in the classroom. 2 male footballers, again, represent their country. And then we do get students and performers from all over the world, sorry. So we've got an Italian international rugby player, and then we also had another female rugby player that represents England. So Tina, is there anything you want to add on what I've just said?
No, I just wanted to go back really to the fact that we are, I would believe, certainly one of the only colleges in the southeast and possibly a few in the country that have managed to keep our programme going throughout all this COVID time since September. As you rightly said, we started off the season in September under all modified rules for certain sports. And then fortunately football was allowed to get off the ground. We managed to get a couple of netball games in before we went into lockdown again in November, and it would have been very easy for the coaches to have said, well, we're not allowed to play any fixtures, we're not doing anything. But for the whole month we managed to put a programme together so that the students continued to train, and they also had competitive activities in-house. So the boys football, they ran a very successful 5-a-side, 6-a-side, was it, Dave? Every Wednesday over at Culver Road. I think there was about 9 teams So that was great initiative from Dave to keep the football going. And for the other sports, we put all the girls together and we had a netball tournament, we had a touch rugby, girls football, and then the basketballers joined us for a basketball v netball tournament. So we've worked really hard, and even in this current lockdown, that whilst no sport is allowed under any governing body, the students are still doing active strength and conditioning via Zoom with the Sussex Performance Centre, which we'll talk to you all about later. So yeah, we have still continued and our students are still fit and active, and hopefully if after February half term we're allowed to start again, we'll be in a really good place to continue. Please carry on, Dave.
Perfect. Yeah, so if we can move on, that'd be great. So obviously with regards to myself and my role, obviously I have a foot in both camps. So I obviously deliver academically, and also I coach the men's football program, lead the men's football program as well. And the important thing to us is, again, we're stressing about the academic athlete, is that they need to perform in the classroom. And what we mean by that is obviously, you know, attendance is very important. Also application is very important, because we get the fact that obviously at the moment, especially over the last year and a bit, we're in a bit of a, you know, unexpected time for everyone. So, you know, there's all the concern about predicted grades and what's going on and how do I progress. So obviously the big thing for us is that we've done throughout remote learning is making sure that all students are engaged, and all students are working towards their targets. And this is no different. So we're the only area in the college that has this kind of system in place, where if a student goes on to the college referral system, which is now called, you know, and they go on to a staged process, they're actually the intervention is with Tina or myself. So again, it's very specific in the fact that we know about the story, we know about the background, we have good communication links with the staff across all subjects. And then unfortunately, if it moves up and still there hasn't been improvement, whether it's attendance or work in terms of non-submission or, you know, kind of behaviour towards learning, then that moves to a stage 2. And those stage 2 and stage 3s can happen quite quickly. And what happens with that is then they're automatically banned from training and playing. So they're, you know, kind of, I've experienced it. I know that other coaches have experienced it, that maybe there's big games coming up, but because students haven't been doing their work in the classroom, they're on that stage 2 or stage 3, and they can't play or train for us, which, you know, for me, obviously we abide by, and then potentially at times that may have, you know, an effect on the scoreline. But, you know, for us, it's all about building that culture of excellence and making sure everyone is trying their hardest and doing the best they can in the classroom. Anything on that, Tina?
No, just to say that if students are struggling, we do obviously have a very lenient approach, and if they're in trouble, you know, things are going wrong at home and there's problems, that we do ask them to chat with us, and we have got a great support from our student support team as well. So yeah, but we like all our students to achieve, both on and off the pitch.
Perfect. Yeah, if we can move on, that'd be great. There's some great questions coming through, guys and girls, as well. So please keep them coming, and I hope that Sarah is answering them for you. Can't stress highly enough within our program, as Tina quite rightly touched upon, it's much more than just the actual student, than the academic. It's more, we're all about developing the person as well. So again, we try and find ways to ensure that people are successes, whether it's in the classroom, on the field, on the court, or in life in general. So, you know, that's really important to us. And that obviously goes a little bit beyond the college realms. So I know this is a question that's asked quite a lot. You know, how does it, and I've already spoken to parents over the last few weeks about this, you know, how does my sport, how does my training, how does my playing fit into a timetable? So what we've got up on the slide, which hopefully you can see, is an example timetable. Obviously, don't, you know, take this as read as being your timetable, but with regards to this is kind of just an example. So what we've got here is we've got, and training does differ slightly for some academies, so Tina will touch upon that in a minute. But usually training at the academy takes place on a Monday and a Friday, which is usually in the final lesson of the day, so that's between 2 and 4. And then on a Wednesday, sometimes you will have a Wednesday lesson in the morning, but obviously the rest of the day is yours to be able to access fixtures which take place all around the country, and also can be, you know, as far a place as up north, etc., depending on, you know, how well we do in competitions. The other bits that we've introduced, which again, we're always growing the program and making it better for all of you to experience, is that, as Tina touched on earlier, we have an excellent working relationship with the Sussex Performance Centre. They're actually on our campus with regards to strength and conditioning. So again, if you're not quite sure on who they are, check out their Instagram, Facebook. You know, they're a really exciting company, and they do all they can to help our students physically as well as mentally. So each squad at the moment is doing at least one live session a week. And also within our timetable, we do have a slot where that happens. So for example, the footballers, this is on a Tuesday morning. So this is an example of a football timetable. And then also what's been added in is, for example, quite a few of the sports do video analysis. So we use a platform, a lot of us use a platform called Huddle, which allows us to download the footage onto an app, which players can access at any time. But then I've found with my footballers that a Thursday afternoon lunchtime is quite effective to actually discuss the game from the before, or the week before, or the training from the Monday, and seeing how we can improve and develop. So with regards to the academic side itself, to be a full-time student, you will be studying around about 12 hours of contact time. So on average, it's 4 hours on A-level, or it's 11 to 12 hours contact for a full BTEC provision, or it's an 8-hour and a 4-hour split for a double BTEC and a single A-level. So that's how it works. But on top of that, you're expected to do independent study work. So that independent study work is basically work that we set as staff in our specific subjects to support, whether it's assignment writing or whether it's exam preparation. And that usually, you know, we try and take that for an hour basis. So if it's 4 hours of work, it's 4 hours of independent study. Again, as you can see, there's blank spaces about, and there's also subject support that we can provide to support you as well through those things too. So again, you know, your timetable as an academy student will be very busy, but moving from a school life of where you've had quite a busy timetable, this technically won't be much of a culture shock. Maybe the level of work might be to start with, but again, there's a lot of things in place that we can support with. So again, Tina, is there anything you'd like to add there? You're on mute, Tina.
We are hoping that the basketball programme will change. We've looked at, and we're hoping to have a new venue, which will mean basketball will be the same as the rest of the academy programme. I think the other thing to highlight is the gym. And this year, if anyone who's looking to come to us would like to get involved with some physical activity whilst you're still at school, if you check out our Instagram account, you'll see some great work done by our gym apprentices, but that is also part and parcel of the Sport Academy, and we do expect you to be in there too. So you can fill up your week very easily, and especially with your 12 hours of independent study. Next slide.
Yeah, if we could move on, that'd be brilliant. So with regards to this, and I know there's loads of questions about when are the trials going to be, how do I know if I'm in, all this kind of stuff. We'll kind of go through this over the next few slides. First of all, what if in terms of the academy itself, there will be trial processes. At the moment, obviously, with regards to trials, we are not actually officially giving dates out, because I see other programs across the country, giving dates out, but then they're cancelling the dates. But in terms of past years, we've usually done our trials in Easter, or we've done our trials end of April/May. So the reason why we've done that is to ensure that it doesn't impact on your GCSEs. And also what it allows is it's usually out of season which then allows you to really focus on the trial itself. The trials themselves are, I don't like the word trial, to be honest, but in terms of the trials, they are mainly focused on how we run training sessions, to be honest. In terms of those trials, for example, for mine, they're videoed. We take notes of what goes on. So we have a lot of information. We also have references. So we have a lot of information to go on, because we know it's potentially quite a difficult decision for us to make, because there's so much talent coming through. I definitely know that for the next 3 or 4 years, there's so much talent coming through. In terms of COVID at the moment, fingers crossed. Last year, I'll take the example of our trials last year. We end up doing them in June and July, just purely because of restrictions and what happened with regards to COVID. So I know it's a question, Max, you've just posed up there, mate. Trials will take place. I'm hoping, as I'm sure you all are, we're nice and positive, and we're gonna get out of this at some point this year. And then obviously when things return, then obviously we'll do it in a safe manner. In terms of the first trial, we did everything strict to guidelines. So whether it's restriction on numbers or how we, distancing and all that kind of stuff, we will make sure that when it's safe to do so, there will be trials that take place, because obviously that's only fair on you guys and girls. So let's say you trialed, you got an email to say, yeah, brilliant, you're in. There is a cost to being in the academy, and obviously we wanted to break it down for you. Obviously, first of all, with regards to parents, so again, just not saying there's no hidden fees or anything like that. So what we do is, the first charge that we provide is an academy membership fee. So for an academy to run at this level, it does require obviously a lot of resourcing. So with regards to a lot of resourcing, obviously the gym, the links to the S&C, things like a medical strategy that we have. Obviously, we use external facilities as well. So, for example, men's football train and women's football train out of Lancing Football Club, so the best 3G in the area. Basketball being trained externally at the moment. Netball and rugby trained primarily at the college sites. So, again, with those, we do have obviously those external facilities. Also, in terms of our competition, we compete regionally and nationally, so obviously that has a cost as well in the sense of travel. In terms of travel to training externally and obviously travel to games, minibuses are provided. All of our drivers, including myself, Tina and Sarah, are qualified up to drive those minibuses, and obviously have been through the correct training to do so. Again, so all of that, and with regards to the coaching, so to perform at this certain level, or to be in a certain level, you have to have certain levels of coaching qualifications. So all of our coaches have that. And again, with that moving forward, it all costs. So for £100 a year, that gives you all those things, plus the free gym membership. So at our college gym, you can come and train in our college gym at any time, obviously when it's safe to do so. SPC, you get those sessions rolled in with that as well. So again, that is really good value for money. And with regards to research we do around the area and beyond our area, colleges at our level, that is very good value for money. So if we can move on, that'd be brilliant to the next set. So again, we've touched upon the Sussex Performance Centre. We have, I would say that there's no other college in Sussex, so no other colleges that potentially you're looking at that have this kind of unique relationship in terms of developing students and athletes. To have a strength and conditioning centre on the college site, again, is something that no colleges in this area have. They may say they have a gym, but they don't have what we have in the sense of the facility, but also in terms of the expertise. So Nathan Rees and all of his staff are trained to the highest level. They've done masters in strength and conditioning, nutrition, psychology, everything like that. Again, I'm going to talk about a program in a minute called TAS, which again, we're the only college in the whole of Sussex to have that accreditation, which also links more to individual athletes. So again, I know there's been some questions flying up there in terms of individual athletes. Another question that just popped up with regards to strength conditioning programs, at the moment, all of our squads are going through weekly strength conditioning sessions. and all of the squads are getting access to strength and conditioning programs. You know, that would happen if COVID wasn't here as well. So again, there is a session a week that basically what we're trying to do is provide your education, and then obviously off that you go into the gym and you do your own work off the back of that as well, that grounding. But important for me, it's about your education in that area, and obviously all the sporting stuff as well as the academic stuff. Tina,
Dave, just so that everyone's aware, we are hoping to be sending out to all the applicants a session from the SPC that they've been doing over the last week or so, so that in all the different sports, the students can see what actually happens and what the lads get up to and lasses with the SPC.
Yeah, perfect. You know, they are worked hard. And for example, you know, just going on my example for footballers, we've got a whole YouTube playlist because we did these during lockdown 1 as well. So again, it's very important to keep that structure. And obviously, if there's any advice for you guys and girls and parents out there, just keep your structure, keep your focus, and keep nice and positive. So we can move on, that'd be great. Obviously, there is a kit package cost as well. They vary, which Tina will dip in with the cost of the kit packages in a second. But the identity and the branding of the program is extremely important. So, you know, depending on whatever academy you're in, you'll be expected to buy a kit package. The kit package supports all of your playing kit, all of your training kit as well. So again, you are literally in terms of resourced for your kit for a one-off payment, and these kits definitely last your 2 years of your time at college. So again, in terms of, you know, value for money, it is very good as well. Obviously, there is an option to buy optional bits, but what we do is we do provide kit packages which are sold out of Broadwater Sports, which again is nice and local. And it's, as you know, during this, and we've been doing that with them for years now as well. So again, as you know, it's extremely important to support local during this time. Tina, anything you want to add on the kit package costs?
Sorry, they range from around £110 upwards to maximum, I think, of 140. If, as parents, you are in need of support from the college, the college will support you if you meet the criteria, together with the cost of the academy as well. So please don't stress about it. If you need some support, just drop us an email and we'll get the necessary forms out to you. The rugby kit is dealt with slightly differently, and we will send you information on that from Ben and Mark for both the girls and the boys. They do deal to a large degree with a foreign supplier to bring the cost of rugby much, much lower than it would be otherwise. But the main thing is, if it is an issue for you, then please contact us. Our email, Sarah and mine, will be available to you, and we can support from there.
Excellent. If we can move on, that'd be great. So again, there's been some great questions coming in as well. Obviously, again, we are, as a program across all of our sports, you know, we strive to be the best we can be, and obviously that is providing the best environment we can. In addition to this, you know, and just to reinforce this, we're now into the 3rd year of this, being a TAS dual accredited centre. So if you don't know what TAS means, it means Talented Athlete Scholarship Scheme. And basically what this program is geared towards, it's more geared towards those students that aren't in those academy sports. So I know that there was a question earlier about track athletes and individual sports. So we try and gear this program more to those athletes. However, students that are in our Academy of Sports can apply to be part of the TAS program as well. This is mainly for athletes that are regional or national level within their sport. So this year we've got a group of 26 students in the college that have this TAS accreditation, and they range from athletes, rock climbers, we've got an archer, we've got international female rugby players, international football players. We've got the lot, and it's great to work with these students. So what we try and do is we try and provide a similar experience to the Academy of Sport program. So they usually meet, well, the meetings are set once a week. It's not potentially every week. But with regards to that, what we do is we have guest speakers come in, working on sports psychology, progression routes. So we also have links with universities. Southampton Solent, we just had a chat last week with them about their high level performance centre. So again, they're looking at progression routes from our college to Southampton Solent. It's an amazing facility, by the way. I would check it out as a sporty. We do things like injury prevention, nutrition, strength and conditioning. So again, at the moment, these task guys are doing their one session a week with the SPC as well. So again, as a program, and with this TAS dual career accreditation, you also get extra tutorials with me to support their learning and academics. Because when COVID's not happening, there's usually competitions all around the country. Some people are competing all around the world as well. So again, that's really important moving forward with regards to trying to provide the academic athlete with everything they can to succeed. And again, I can't stress highly enough that you don't have to study sports science or PE to be in these academies or the TAS program. In terms of the TAS program itself, it's something that you don't apply for until you get to the college. Obviously, we can earmark you before that, but there will be a form that's sent out once you enroll at the college, and then obviously we can go through that process with you. It's quite a straightforward form, and then I just say yes or no, which is perfect. The majority are working at that level in terms of regional and national, and then we just work through there with regards to the support packages and the extra sessions in place. So if you can move on, that'd be great. Tina, I know this is something that you work exceptionally hard with these students. So it'd be great if you chatted about the national champs.
Yeah, certainly. So the AOC National Championships are probably the highlight of the students' year if they're fortunate enough to qualify. I've been fortunate enough to take the netballers for a couple of years, and sadly we were due to be in Nottingham again in April last year, but wasn't to be. So we've retained our national title for 2 years, so we'll take that. Basically, what happens is you play not for your college as such, but you play as part of the South region for the Wilkinson Sword. So we enter students in many different sports, as well as the rugby, netball, football, and basketball. There's tennis players, athletes, there's cross country, there's squash, there's badminton. So if you play any of those sports or know people at a good level, please again get them to contact Sarah and myself, and we will have a go at the regional champs, which are normally held in November, December, and then the winners of the regional events go on to represent the South at Nottingham for the overall championship. I am delighted to say that the South East have won it for the last few seasons. So it is a great opportunity. It's a weekend away at Nottingham University, which is a fantastic place with the most amazing sports facilities. And it really is a great weekend and something that the students who go will never forget. So we do put a lot of energies into it. As I say, fortunately, netball have been there a few times. We've had individual sports there on a number of occasions. I can't think what other sports we've had there. Girls football have done very well there as well. So yeah, it's a great event. So step forward if you're good at an individual sport, and put all your energies in if you're selected for the team that competes at the regionals. Back to you, Dave.
Perfect. If we can move on, that'd be great. Again, some excellent questions coming through before I chat about the gym. I think there's been a couple about progression routes, which I'm sure other people are thinking about. Obviously, I know you haven't even finished school yet, and I'm talking about progression routes beyond college. I know that scholarships to America are very popular at the moment, and it's something that we massively support. For example, in football, we have a very good working relationship with a company called Future Elite, who are in conjunction with the England Colleges FA, who we support. And again, we're very experienced on the ins and outs of American scholarships and how to get there. Obviously, there's a load of companies out there at the moment. I know that probably they're contacting you because you're talented individuals. But if that is an option for you, I would suggest that you kind of speak to us first, because there's, you know, it's a bit of a minefield, to be honest. There's a lot of hidden costs potentially for parents, but we have excellent, you know, excellent working relationships with trusted companies. But it's a massive opportunity. Obviously, universities and being an academy and having this as part of a UCAS application, again, it's a fantastic thing in the sense of, you know, being able to show that you have an academic athlete ethos, and you can combine studies and performing as well. And obviously, there are universities out there that are looking for scholarships for, you know, academic and sporting performers, which we've experienced just this year again as well. With quite a few of our students accessing scholarships to study in 21. So, you know, there's exciting times. Obviously, you know, there's lots of apprenticeships out there. We run apprenticeships in personal training, which Tina touched upon earlier, and our guys are doing an amazing job at the moment on Instagram to try and get, you know, as many people fit and active as possible. And, you know, these guys are only 18, 19 years old. So, you know, we're exceptionally proud of the work they're doing. And this moves on quite nicely. So with regards to the college gym, extremely well equipped, all the latest equipment. So whether it's the Live Fitness running machines, we've got watt bikes, we've got ski ergs, we've got all of the free weights, we've got the Olympic bars, we've got all of those kind of things, squat racks, which can allow us in our own time to better ourselves, in addition to all the education we're getting with regards to strength conditioning. As an academy performer, paying the fee, you get access to that all the time. So any time from 8 o'clock through till 4:30. So when you don't have a lesson, you can come in, sign in and work, obviously under, you know, COVID restrictions if they're there. You know, our gym was exceptionally busy when we were allowed to use it on a sign in, sign out basis. So again, that's really positive. So with that in mind, we are all about developing the person as well as the sports person and as well as the academic. So Tina, is there anything you want to add on the gym before we move on?
No, I think that's it. I mean, again, with the gym, we were allowed to keep it open in the November lockdown, and I think the sports students in particular were delighted with that. We do work extremely hard in accordance with the sporting body guidelines and the risk assessments to give the kids every opportunity possible to carry on keeping fit within college. But the apprentices this year have been the best we've ever had. So, yeah, they've done a really good programme.
Perfect. Right, let's move on, please. So I'm going to briefly, you know, just touch upon this. We do have a lot of supporters. Obviously, again, we have whether it be former academy students have been on to become successful business people, and they want to give back. So things like, for example, these guys here. So one of the son of the owner of Shafiq's, he used to be in the football program right at the start. And what happened with that is that he sponsored one of our playing shirts, and then also another former alumni has sponsored quite a few of our things now, because obviously they see the importance of what we're trying to do, and also the importance of how positive it was on their lives, and in terms of them being extremely successful. And I can't, you know, I know it might be a bit of a tongue in cheek, but, you know, if you want a curry, Shafiq's 100%. If you're local, go there. And if you want any wholesale meat, Ashley James meat, brilliant. You know, absolutely can't doubt that, their quality. If you could move on, please, that'd be brilliant. Sorry for the shameless plug. And then also, you know, the rugby guys, you know, they have a lot of sponsors, and girls as well have a lot of sponsors, a lot of them from parents, and also, you know, former alumni as well. And it's quite nice to have that community. It's quite nice to have that culture as well, because it's such an important thing, and you boys and girls as young people do so many positive things that, you know, I think that gets missed quite a lot of the time. So it's really important that the local community and ourselves, we support and get behind that. And obviously you just keep doing, you know, the best things that you do. And obviously again, SPC, you know, we can't praise the working relationship enough we have with them. If you can move on, that'd be brilliant. Here were some FAQs that I think I've answered during the time. We're good timing at the moment, so you know, I'm really happy. Hopefully I don't rush through things. How do I apply to be in the academy? So the first thing is, if you've applied already, you should have put your subjects down, and then at the bottom, or as the fourth subject, as it will, or the next subject, you should have put down your the sport that you want to do. So, for example, whether it's men's football performance program, women's football, netball, basketball, men's rugby, women's rugby, make sure that's on your application. If it's not on your application, then phone or email the college and just say, I'd like it added on. And it's as simple as that, it'll get added on. Obviously, with regards to that, then it will provide you with all the information when we send it out, being on mailing lists and whatnot. Obviously, if you feel that your friends are getting this information and you're not, please contact myself, Tina or Sarah, and we'll get this out to you as soon as possible, because it is so important. Ben, I think I've answered your question, mate, in the sense of just, just contact the college and ask to see if it's been added on there. If it hasn't, it'll get added on there. It takes 30 seconds to do. Do I have to study sport? In an answer, no. Okay. You don't have to study sport. We've got a wide range of courses, A-levels, B-Techs, CAM-Techs, vocational qualifications. You study what you enjoy and what you want to do as part of your progression route. So that's something that's really important to us. And to be honest, and I will say it right now, it's something that sets us out above and beyond all the other colleges in the area, because a lot of the colleges you have to study certain subjects. So again, I think that's something that we're really proud of. Is there a trial process? Yes, we've spoken about that. What does it look like? Yes, we've spoken about that in the sense of it's as close to training sessions as possible. I don't like the word trial. I don't like just playing games. We need to see what you like, technically, tactically, psychologically, because obviously, we're only seeing you once or twice. For example, the men's football have a couple of trials because of the numbers. So again, there'll be plenty of opportunity for us to have a look at you. Do I get support if I'm behind my studies? Yes, you do. Obviously, Tina and I are very big on this. So obviously, we want to develop the person as well as the academic. And again, we've been working with students on one-to-one sessions this year, like in every year, to make sure that you've got the best opportunity to succeed. And final question from me: are there any additional trips linked with the Academy of Sport? Unfortunately, they got cancelled this year because of COVID. I tried my best. So I was supposed to be flying out to Spain just before February half term with the footballers. We go to Salou. It's an amazing 4-day training camp. Obviously, we'll be doing probably some more sport-specific stuff, like presentations like this, so I can talk more about that. But it's an absolutely amazing experience. 4 days, working in a professional environment, visiting the new camp, doing the tourist stuff, playing against Spanish opposition. It's absolutely amazing. Rugby do something similar with Holland and Italy. But again, they're the trips that we've got. Well, they're not trips, they're training camps, we call them. We don't call them trips because we're there to work. So again, I think we've answered all your questions. A lot of information there. Advice I provide you is, work hard with your studies, ask loads of questions of us and your teachers, keep a good structure, keep healthy and active, and stay positive, because we'll get through this. And I hope to be speaking to you soon, hopefully in person, but if not, over one of these again. So that's it from me. Tina, if you want anything to add.
Just an apology about my IT and my problems, but yeah, like Dave says, hopefully we'll get to meet you all before September. We'll have the trials. We're fingers crossed. I'm confident that our trials will happen in May.
Let's stay positive. Stick to our, if you're on social media, follow our channels. We'll have loads of stuff. Might be some silly stuff from me, but yeah, it's just keeping everyone active, keeping everyone positive. Take care. Stay safe, everyone.